Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea Champions League final tactics. Can we recreate Tuchel's defensive masterclass, as well as his efficient counterattacking with the front three? We will dive deep into Tuchel's tactics and try to clone them in eFootball and test them in 2 online division matches. 0 big chances created, and just 0.45 expected goals by Pep's Man City. Let's first look at Pep's game plan and how Tuchel's Chelsea defended so well. Pep didn't start Rodri or Fernandinho, and instead played Gundogan as the DMF. City's main attacking shape was a 3-4-3, with Gundogan acting as the pivot in the middle, and Zinchenko inverting and moving high in the midfield. Against Chelsea's 5-2-3 defense, Pep wanted his team to dominate the midfield with a 4 versus 2 advantage. But Tuchel's defense perfectly countered it. Although nominally a 5-2-3, Tuchel kept a very short distance between the lines. The front three didn't press City's back three. Mount and Havertz stayed very close to City's midfield, defending in a 5-4-1. So City's man advantage in the midfield did not exist. But how about when City attacked through the wingers? The left wingback, Chilwell, would man-mark Mahrez. Rudiger would often press Bernardo Silva aggressively, preventing him from turning. With 2 aggressively pressing defenders, it would naturally leave space behind for Foden and De Bruyne to exploit, but it didn't really work for 2 reasons. One was because City's players didn't have much time on the ball against aggressive defenders, and Jorginho was focused and filled in the space immediately. A similar defensive strategy was used on the right between James, Azpilicueta, and Kanté, which was also effective with Kanté's tireless ground coverage. This forced Man City to recycle the ball back and attempt long-through passes to Sterling, but James had exceptional 1 versus 1 skills. In the second half, the defenders had tired legs, Walker started to overlap more, pushing Mahrez inward, and Foden was able to have more space to dribble in the midfield. Later, Tuchel subbed in Kovacic for Mount, and he was more like a CMF, and Tuchel was able to keep the clean sheet. Chelsea's expected goal was 1.45, although they had only 40% possession. On the ball, Chelsea would build up in a 3-2 shape, with the wingbacks higher and wide, especially Chilwell. Chilwell often moved high and tried to escape Mahrez's marking, then got marked by Walker, allowing Mount to have more space in the left half space against Bernardo Silva. Jorginho was like an anchorman or orchestrator who would collect the ball deep to break the press and distribute it to the front. Kanté was not fixed at the back. He would both support the build-up from the back as well as carry the ball forward, even attacking into the box. The front three's flexible and tireless runs opened up many long pass options. Werner's runs were especially crucial. He was like a goal poacher CF, but he wasn't just fixed in the middle. He would target behind City's backline across the pitch horizontally, creating an overload on either side of the pitch, trying to punish City's high defensive line. With Havertz targeting the space behind Zinchenko, their counterattack was effective, especially during City's transition from inverted Zinchenko into a back four defense. Chelsea's only goal was actually a perfect example of their long ball counter strategy. A long pass from Mendy to Chilwell. Chilwell attacked high and wide and was not defended by Mahrez, so Walker had to mark him. That allowed Mount to have no one marking him, and it baited Stones to press slightly higher. Werner's run occupied Diaz because Gundogan didn't play like an anchorman who would stay lower to defend in front of the backline. And we can see Havertz had a positional advantage over Zinchenko because Zinchenko inverted into the midfield when City attacked, and he wasn't pacey enough to get back into the right back position in time. Then Mount's through pass found Havertz perfectly, 1 versus 1 against Ederson, the title-winning goal. In the final 30 minutes, Pulisic was subbed in for Werner, and he also played like a goal poacher, but he was more fixed centrally instead of going wide. Pulisic and Havertz stayed close to each other to link up and break the last line of defense. As a result, Tuchel's Chelsea, despite having lower possession, dominated the match with their well-coordinated defense and counter-attacking tactics, well-designed against Pep's tactics. The team playstyle should be long ball counter, deep and compact defending and initiating quick attacks with long passes. The formation is a 5-2-3 shape, with Mount as an AMF, Havertz as an SS, and Kanté as a CMF. We want to defend like Tuchel's 5-4-1, so we should give Havertz deep line. We can also give the left wingback, Chilwell, attacking, to mimic how he immediately ran forward after regaining possession. The key part is cloning Werner's runs. In the game, we saw how he made runs in the middle, on the right, and on the left, rotating with Mount and Havertz. We can target our opponent by moving the horizontal position of the CF and placing him either in between the other 2 attackers or slightly out wide, depending on which side you want him to attack. If you have Capello as your manager, the over-the-top link-up is also perfect for sending long balls to Werner. Mendy can have any playstyle, and I am using a defensive keeper. Thiago Silva and later Christensen were like build-up center backs. But destroyers would also be fine, as I'm using this destroyer Silva. Rudiger was a very aggressive destroyer. Azpilicueta, the right CB. I'm using someone like Costa Curta, who's more agile and versatile. Both wingbacks, Chilwell and James, should be attacking fullbacks. Jorginho was like an orchestrator or anchor man with good low and lofted passing. I'm using an orchestrator to activate link-up. Conte was a box-to-box or destroyer CMF, with an extremely high work rate. Mount can be a creative playmaker or hole player at left AMF. Havertz should be a hole player at right SS. Werner should definitely be a fast goal poacher CF. The sub-CF Pulisic also played like a goal poacher CF, but we can use a more nimble player. Finally, Kovacic was a box-to-box or hole player CMF who came in for Mount. Here's the summary of the team, and we will look at highlights from 2 online division matches. One without link-up and one with link-up. I'm starting with Werner positioned slightly on the left without activating link-up.
Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game. Well, now the opposition are going to have to find something pretty special.
Attacking Chilwell moves very high and links up with Mount.
The man is an absolutely born winner. You just feel that with him on the pitch, anything is possible. And what's more, he brings out the best of his teammates.
Yeah, I think he just gives... It's not the game we were hoping for, Peter. I think both of these keepers could...
Yeah, I'm sure link-up activated there.
Tries a shot!
Rudiger is aggressive on the player, preventing the opponent from turning.
And no, that is pretty much the end of that. Now it's Darwin, laid out to the left flank. Reds one in.
Attacking on the left through Chilwell again.
Delivered with swing. Oh, yeah. Van Dijk. And he's lost his man here. Darwin. Now can he find
Heavy
a finish?
touch.
So far.
Adjusting the position so that Werner stays on the left of Mount.
We may see a very different side.
And the second half gets underway.
Well, I think in these circumstances, it's all about...
I prefer not to speak.
He's having a shot! It's simply tragic defending when a renowned finisher is ignored. It's how he built his reputation.
The opponent also uses a back 5, so my players have so much time on the ball. In this case, it's good to utilize the wingbacks.
The turning of the screw comes to mind, Peter. They've got them where they want them.
Chance to... Up he goes! Out towards the flank. Havertz. Nunez. Expertly cut out. Really.
I prefer not to speak.
That was as close to...
Here, Azpilicueta is about to press, but he realizes that Thiago is still not back in position. Following Tuchel's strategy, we should pull Azpilicueta back and cover the space behind.
Switch off. Time rocket from the manager can make. This is exactly the response he'd be looking for.
Werner is making the goal poacher run wider on the left of Mount.
Knocks it out wide.
Fantastic pass by Chilwell and run by Werner.
Not picking him up. I think the boss...
That's a cute ball. And the shot! It's loose, and there's a race for the ball. Conte. And it's Isco. Chelsea really will have to throw everything at this now.
Now that's the run we'd like to see when we place a goal poacher wider.
Flip up now. Now it's Luis Suarez. Oh, easy pickings there. And that is as far as it goes. So the winnow's bullish and belligerent after a remarkable collect.
This time we will activate link-up.
The left side of a central three, where he likes to take the ball on the turn and look to pass it forward. I expect to see him spreading.
Mount is close to Werner for a quick 1-2 after the CB is taken out of position.
Goes around him.
Look and shoots! It's loose, and he's following up! And it's a moment, and it...
Very compact 5-4-1 defense.
Tries to crash through the challenge, but no.
Then Jorginho finds Werner by activating
Just
link-up.
about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. Tries a shot! Messi.
Azpilicueta moves out by mistake. Then James has his back.
Rafael Leao was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Williams. Oh, that is asking for trouble. Hang brings in a cross.
That's not.
A similar strategy. Azpilicueta presses the player on the ball until Kanté comes back,
One decisive
moving
moment.
Werner out wide on the left again.
Oh, super ball. Oh, look at that. A chance.
That's a nice dribble.
Take and win style. They have hauled themselves right back into it.
Well, it looks in. That's terrific movement, Peter, and an even better pass. It's beautifully played.
And that has added a whole new complexion to the
Kanté
game.
moves higher during the attack as a box-to-box, while Jorginho orchestrates to the
So much
back.
class from both sides.
This is a chance created by the wingbacks.
So significant.
That should get the job done. Kicked out, decent shot!
Bringing in Pulisic and Kovacic to defend the lead.
Well, that's certainly more like it. They can't let the intensity drop now, Peter.
This is a really front. Can he finish? It's a goal!
As a side, they never lost focus despite the setback. And
the shot! He's got four. He's a sharp little ball here. Takes aim and crosses. And he's taking no chances there.
Cloning how Pulisic and Havertz linked up in the final.
Neither is
And it's Musiala. Shot a goal! He scored! And they get them
the goal they craved.
Oh, he's not going to get any further than that. Now it's Musiala. He might be in here. Musiala stood his ground strongly.
Usually is the time teams go into conservation mode.
And here's Kanté. And he's managed to get free.
Yeah, not again,
Oh,
bro.
he's got that all wrong, and it's a penalty. Chelsea, with the clock ticking away, have a chance to change the whole picture. And he has shown him a yellow card. Not a twitch, not a blink.
Played a game of double bluff here, I think.
And he's done it again. Now it's Girassi. Whistle's gone. Beckham! Thiago Silva. And the referee brings it to a close. Chelsea can reflect on a job really well done. Superior tactically, physically and mentally.
The 5-4-1 defense is definitely solid because in our own half we can always press aggressively on the player with the ball as long as the space behind is well covered by another defender. Having a player with good coverage like Kanté as CMF really helps both in defending and in acting as an extra attacker during counters. Capello's link-up play is also perfect to clone how Werner always ran behind the opponent's defense, and we can always adjust which side we want the goal poacher to attack. But it's certainly more difficult when our opponent also plays deep. This setup isn't ideal for playing a possession-dominant game. Regardless, it's a good setup if you enjoy playing with a defensive and counter-attacking mindset. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, like, and share. Here's another Chelsea tactic video.